Ransom there, a real knockout doing her thing. And of course, all those followers of Kenny Callander's tips, they'll be hoping that the Wizard of Odds is right on the money today. And here he is right now with the totes at race number 5 at Moonee Valley.
I'll be right on the money today, Maxie boy. And I'll start with Clocker in this race 5, the first leg in Melbourne. The Laurent Perrier Stakes for 3-year-old fillies, and a classy lineup it is. Number 1 Loving Cup from the David Hayes stable is a 30-1 chance. Snippet's Girl is at 9-1. Clocker's favourite at 5-2. She's a Sydney sider. She's gone down to Melbourne. Kevin Moses, who normally rides her, has stayed up here, and Greg Hall has got the mount today. Incidentally, Snippet's Girl sees big odds at 9-1. These are early Victorian TAB prices, and I wouldn't be surprised if that just tightens a little bit. Snippet's Girl. Clocker at 5-2. Our Tristolite at 9-1. Sparky Miss at 10-1. Crazy No, D Taggart at 12-1. Forever Ingenue at 20-1. Credit Account is a 33-1 chance. Plenty of money for Simon Marshall's mount, Minsky Lash. She's at 11-2. Well backed. Solution. Mick Dittman down in Melbourne today has already won the Fleeing Stakes on naturalism, and by golly, he's going well this time in. We'll see him shortly in a week or two on the wide world of sports. But Solution, Dittman's mount in this race, is at 11-1. Kingston Spirit at 25-1. Snippety Greg Childs is at 9-1. Mbala, the Adelaide jockey S Price, is at 50-1. Strike Me Blushing is at 50-1. Rochetta and Rabique are not required. They are emergencies. And I can tell you this, it's pouring rain at Moonee Valley. A wet track down there. And we're just waiting for the last 3 or 4 to go in. Remember, Clocker from Sydney is the favourite. Clocker is a 5-2 chance. Second pick is Minsky Lass. And well in commission, Snippet's Girl and our Tristolite from New Zealand. But a clear-cut favourite, Clocker. Clocker will race fairly close to the lead, and over 1,200 metres, she'll have plenty in reserve to run well at the finish. Only waiting for one more there, Loving Cup that is, in the Robert Sangster's colours. Loving Cup moves in. They're all in. Time to switch to Melbourne for the first leg of the Daily Double. Here's our caller, John Russell.
Ready to go. Credit Account, the inside runner. All set. Waiting for the light. Soon be on their way. They're ready. Set. They're off. And a very good start too. Minsky Lass, one of the first to bound out with Sparky Miss, and Clocker began very speedily and away fast towards the outside. Solution going up towards the lead with Forever Ingenue, and wider on the track is Loving Cup, followed closely over on the outside by Snippet's Girl, and back behind them Crazy No and Snippety, a length and a half to Ambala. Our Tristolite is next on the outside of Credit Account, and well back is Strike Me Blushing, and Kingston Spirit dropped out to last. 800 metres left to go, and Solution takes the lead by a neck on Loving Cup, a length to Minsky Lass. Close in behind them Clocker. They were followed by Forever Ingenue, and making ground out wider on the track is Snippet's Girl. Further back in the field came Snippety, being followed closely by Sparky Miss, Crazy No, Ambala. Credit Account well back without Tristolite, a long gap to Strike Me Blushing, and Kingston Spirit up near the home turn, 400 to run. Minsky Lass has got a glorious run on the inside to go up and take the lead with Solution. Loving Cup just behind them, followed by Clocker, pulled out to make a run. She's coming home fairly well, but under some pressure, and they're followed next then by Snippet's Girl as they straighten up again. Solution's got a head in front of Minsky Lass, deeper on the track. Loving Cup and Clocker down the outside. Solution is the leader. Clocker running on strongly down the outside, is coming after Solution. Clocker on the outside looks to be going home the better. Clocker takes the lead, 100 metres left to go. Clocker's in front, she's coming away. Clocker, Strike Me Blushing, flying home. Clocker too good. Clocker's won it from Solution, tight for third. Minsky Lass or Strike Me Blushing. Then Snippet's Girl being followed home by Kingston Spirit, was a huge run from near the rear. Then Mbala, Forever Ingenue, and back behind them out Tristolite, Loving Cup, Crazy No. Well back in the field, Sparky Miss, followed by Snippety, and last of all is Credit Account.
Get busy. And from the Sports Desk, Victorian TAB dividends on the Laurent Perrier Handicap, race 5 at Moonee Valley, 3.10 and 14. Clocker, the winner. Ken Calendar selection, $3 even and $1.60. Solution, $3.10. And Strike Me Blushing, $13.50. In the Hill Stakes coming up at Rose Hill, Ken says Muirfield Village should tip out the champion Superimpose and Better Loosen Up. Shane Dye in the saddle. Now the AFL sudden...
As it might be your name we draw, and the computer might name it a little later in the show.
Yes, all a matter of luck, and Kenny Calendar and Lady Luck are a pair that often go hand in hand. Let's join him right now for race number 6 at Rose Hill.
And the Hill Stakes coming up, and of course the mighty Superimpose, but I think that Muirfield Village might beat him. Quickly the prices: Better Loosen Up is at 6 to 1, Super Duper is at 10 to 9, $2.10 on the tote, 10 to 1 Lord Revenant, 30 to 1 Equidity, 50 to 1 Magnolia Hall, 25 Sade, 12 to 1 Play or Pay, and Muirfield Village 9 to 4 into 2 to 1, about $3 to $3.10. I reckon he can beat him, but it'll be a great race. Here's Johnny.
Ready to break in the Hill Stakes, Group 2, 1900, off. Good start. Old Super pinged out in front. Chris Muntz took hold immediately, however, and Equidity breezes to the front over the crossing from Play or Pay, followed by Superimpose Sade. Muirfield Village is out tracking 3 and 4 deep in the early part, followed by Magnolia Hall and then Lord Revenant, and Better Loosen Up immediately went back to the tail of the field, but they are merely hacking as they go to the back. Equidity is headed off now by Play or Pay, who takes a narrow lead, but Lord Revenant is trapped out 3 deep and he's going up closer to the front. Nobody's desperate to be in front. Play or Pay is just shading Equidity. Lord Revenant third, followed by Muirfield Village travelling a bit deep on the outside of Magnolia Hall and Sade, and the last couple are Better Loosen Up and Superimpose as they go down the back past the 1200 mark. Lord Revenant kicked up and went to the front, a new roll for him. Lord Revenant got away nearly 2 to Play or Pay. Equidity third, followed by Muirfield Village and Sade together. A gap then to Magnolia Hall, and the last couple are Superimpose and Better Loosen Up in the run to the top turn. 900 metres out, and it's Lord Revenant steadied by a half to Play or Pay. Muirfield Village under his postage stamp weight is running third on the outside of Equidity, and then Sade, followed by Superimpose, who has the chance to come away from the fence at that point. Magnolia Hall dropping back a bit, and back with him on the inside is Better Loosen Up as they come towards the corner. 500 out, Lord Revenant is joined by Play or Pay. Muirfield Village on the outside is under heavy pressure, turning the corner, followed by Sade, and Superimpose is now pulled out into the clear by Chris Muntz, and the big horse is starting to wind up in the straight. 300 out, Play or Pay, tackled by Muirfield Village, who hits the front coming to the 200, but here comes Superimpose down the outsiders coming after the 3-year-old. Muirfield Village is tackled by the big red horse. Superimpose on the outside grabs the lead from Muirfield Village. Go Super. Oh, it's tight. Muirfield Village has kicked again. Muirfield Village kicked again. He might have worried Super out of it. There's very little in it. Now third, Lord Revenant or Better Loosen Up, charging home. Play or Pay close up, followed by Sade, and then Equidity and Magnolia Hall last in the Hill Stakes. The world to a man wanted Superimpose to win, I think.
Those look like getting to the lead, but look at Muirfield Village kick back. I think Muirfield Village has won. If he hasn't, he certainly should have, in a lot of bother early when Shane Dye didn't want to go forward, but I reckon he's got the money, Muirfield Village, and has worried the great Superimpose out of it in the last few hops. A very exciting finish in the Hill Stakes of 1992, but back in the studio, boys, I think you could see on that still that Muirfield Village has won the money for sure and certain.
You're absolutely right, Kenny, and that's another one to you. A good afternoon for Kenny Calendar, and we're galloping headlong into another all-action Saturday afternoon. Take a look at this.
Coming up, the Flying Finn, Ari Bartman and Australia's Ross Duncan lead the charge as we take you back to the Wild West for more from the 1992 Telecom Rally Australia. You'll have another chance to pick up $5,000 cash in our Memorable Moments giveaway. Tonight, we're kicking off a monster rugby league weekend, saluting one of the game's greats with the Wally Lewis Celebrity Challenge from Seagull Stadium. Then on Sunday, it's crunch time at the Sydney Football Stadium when the St George Dragons take on the Illawarra Steelers in the final. For the loser, it's the end of the road, while the winner charges on to meet the Brisbane Broncos in next week's grand final. Join Max Walker on tomorrow's edition of Wide World of Sports for an all-star football finals preview, spring thoroughbred racing and celebrity rally action from the Telecom Rally Australia in Perth. On Sports Sunday tomorrow afternoon, we meet Australian gymnastics star Monique Allen, Bathurst motorsport legend Peter Brock, and get behind the wheel to study the art of rally driving. Baseball fans can make it a date to join us early Monday morning when we take you out to the ballpark for our US Major League coverage. And don't forget, next week on Wide World of Sports, we'll put $5,000 up for grabs as the Formula One guns sail on to try and blow each other away in the Subaru 18-foot skiff challenge on Sydney Harbour. All that and a whole lot more coming your way right here on the one and only Wide World of Sports.
Better go for the Sept out there. Doing pretty good for the Sept out there. Doing pretty good for the Sept out there. Doing pretty good for the Sept out there.
And from the sports desk, I can tell you there's been a protest on the previous event at Rose Hill, the Hill Stakes. As they crossed the line, it was Muirfield Village, Superimpose and Better Loosen Up. But Superimpose has protested against the rider of Muirfield Village, alleging interference in the last 50. We'll bring you the result of that protest as soon as it comes to hand. In the meantime, tips for race 7 at Moonee Valley, the Blessed Ale Wines handicap. It's number 1 from Ken. He likes Hula Grey. Now, in the AFL final, let's see how things are progressing there. And Geelong have hit the front. They lead by 2 goals. It's 8 goals 10 to Footscray's 6 goals 9 in that very exciting AFL final. Remember...
Lots of horsepower under the bonnet of those machines entered in the 1992 Telecom Rally Australia, and plenty of the real thing parading around out at Moonee Valley this afternoon. Here's Kenny Callender.
Yeah, thanks very much. I was just getting the update on the protest. Max, there's no decision yet, and the boys are in the inquiry, so there could be a little bit each way. Superimpose might have come in a fraction, and Muirfield Village out a fraction. Depends which way the stewards see it. We'll keep you posted on the protest in the Hill Stakes. In Melbourne, the second leg of the double, all the rage, or the favourite, is the Sydney galloper, Hula Grey. He's at 6-4. T Habit at 16-1. Noble Lancer is a scratching. Benbara Knight is at 14-1. I reckon that'll come in, make that about 10s. High Chicago, 7-4. Might get out a little towards 2-1 now. Zapari is a scratching. Del Rayo is a scratching. 12-1 Misty Breeze. Raja's Crown is a scratching. 16-1 Espinay Star. 30 Winning Strike. 10 Rags No More, 20 Disrupt, and just repeating, still waiting on that result on the protest in the Hill Stakes, featuring that great galloper, Super Duper himself, Superimpose, and also Muirfield Village, the up-and-coming 3-year-old. Bart Cummings, before he knew there was a protest, was quite excited about the horse, and he told Shane Dye to make sure he could get down to that weight again in the Cox Plate at the end of next month. So that's the sort of opinion Bart has got on a Muirfield Village. Whether he keeps this race, of course, is not in the lap of the gods, it's in the lap of the stewards, and it'll be up to how they interpret the photo. I spoke with a couple of leading pressmen then, which is why you just caught me off guard on camera. They just come out of the room and they seemed to think it was 50-50, and they weren't quite sure which way the stewards would lean. This race in Melbourne, Hula Grey from Sydney's been very, very well backed. He's drawn out a little bit deep, but he's got a heap of early speed and should be able to cross. High Chicago likes the wet track, goes okay at Moonee Valley. She'll give a big sight. And Benbara Knight has kept firming. I believe it's into about 8-1 now on the Victorian TAB. Okay, they're filing in near the 1,200 metre start there at the Valley. Looks like there's only about 1 or 2 to go in. Time to cross to our caller in Melbourne, John Russell.
Well, it looks like a West Coast Eagles Geelong Grand Final, Graham, in the AFL. Geelong getting right away now in the final stages of the third quarter. 13 goals, 13.91, leading Footscray 7.951. So that's 13.91. Geelong leading Footscray 7.951. So it's a 40-point lead to Geelong in the final stages of the third quarter in the AFL preliminary final. Now the field just about set here. The hot favourite is Hula Grey. 5-4. Stand well. Start coming up here. Starter ready for them. Ready to go. Light on. Set. They're off. And High Chicago on the inside was one of the first to bound out with Misty Breeze, who commenced well and away quickly also, is going fast Hula Grey. And T Habit is showing speed on the outside, and just in behind them is Ben Barr and Knight, followed by Rags No More, Epinay Star, and Winning Strikers last. Down the side, High Chicago on the inside, about ahead to Hula Grey. Out 3 deep to T Habit as they go down towards the 800-metre mark, and they were being followed further back by Disrupt over on the outside of Ben Barr and Knight. Misty Breeze is close behind them, followed by Winning Strike on the outside of Rags No More, and Epinay Star is a long last up towards the 600-metre mark, and High Chicago is the leader, led by a half-length Hula Grey. Half a length away, 3 deep is T Habit, 2.5 lengths away, making ground. Winning Strike there, followed by Ben Barr and Knight on the inside of Disrupt, losing ground. Then further back Misty Breeze, followed by Rags No More, and tailed off as Epinay Star as they race up towards the home turn, where it's T Habit moving up on the outside to take the lead now from Hula Grey, is under pretty pressure. In behind them, losing ground, High Chicago as they make the home turn, and T Habit is kicked away by over a length and a half to Hula Grey. In third place, High Chicago, followed by Disrupt and Ben Barr and Knight, but T Habit has raced well clear halfway down the running. He's got it shot to bits. He's too good, this flashy chestnut, and home he goes to an easy victory. T Habit first up after a spell, and T Habit cruised down to score by a couple of lengths to Hula Grey. Give it a Disrupt third, a nose in front of High Chicago, and finishing on down the outside, Rags No More, Winning Striker, Ben Barr and Knight, Misty Breeze, and last Epinay Star.
That's Victorian TAB dividends for race 7, the Blessedale Wines handicap at the Valley, 2-1-13 the numbers, T Habit $12.60 and $2.90, Hula Grey $1.20 and Disrupt $5 even. In the 7th at Rosehill, the Shannon Quality, the smart money is on Let's Hurry. Now to the AFL. Let's see how things are progressing between Geelong and Footscray, and Geelong starting to exert their superiority in the third quarter, 13 goals 14 to Footscray 7 goals 9. So Footscray, a lot of work to do. Well, the things people do in the name of fitness. 2 scientists in the States have invented something called the Spring Walker. It's almost like reinventing the wheel.
It's guaranteed to put a spring in your step, but at 55 pounds in weight and 800 pounds to buy, it's not the easy.
Did I miss again? I think I missed again.
Welcome back. The second leg of the Rosehill Double is the Shannon Quality, and a man who's had a terrific week because his horse won Bruago through the week. Here is John Tapp.
Good on you, Ken. Cold and windy at Rosehill, but gee, we've seen some champagne horse racing. Colossal struggle in the previous race with Muirfield Village in receipt of 9 kilos from Superimpose, coming again after looking beaten to win it by a long head. And Super, gallant in defeat. Well, the race coming up is the Shannon Quality, named after a great horse of the 1940s. The old-timers still talk about his second to Blue Legend in the 1946 Epsom, when he lost 100 yards at the start and failed by inches. There are no Shannons engaged in the race coming up, but there are 1 or 2 tidy customers, including Palatine. Ken, did you spot his run last week?
Yes, John, he's got a great chance. Personally, I wish they'd run the Hill Stakes again. I could back Muirfield Village again, but in the Shannon Quality, a tricky race, I'm going for Let's Hurry. She'll get back a bit, but she'll rattle home. Number 1, Big Dreams. 3's getting out a little bit now, making 13-4. Century Rain coming in a little bit. We better make it about 6.5 to 1, 13-2. Cross Swords at 60-1. Let's Hurry, TAB number 4, is at 9-2, almost 5-1. Instrumental being quite well backed. Big Tip on course into about 5 to 1 now. He's the likely leader. Peloton, the horse John spoke of, 440, almost 7 to 2. Procyon at 50 to 1, Barnya Boy at 16 to 1, Silk Ali at 8 to 1, Shushtar 20s out the 25 to 1 now, and Dan Gambin at 50 to 1. Metro Express was scratched. Sure to be a thrilling race. Let's hurry, you'll get back, as I said, but you'll rattle home. Here's Johnny.
Set to run in the Shannon quality. The gates fly. They're off and running, and there is a magnificent start. Came out almost as one. Dan Gambin from the extreme outside has bustled hard out of the barrier. He's going to lead from Barnya Boy and Instrumental. Big Dream settles down in a prominent spot, followed closely by Shushtar, and then Sensory Rain and Palatin, and further back Procyon. Between runners, Let's Hurry, followed by Cross Swords, and Silk Ali is out the back. Settling down to the 1100 mark, and Dan Gambin got to the fence. He's trying to steady up. The horse wants to go a bit hard now. In front by a length to Instrumental, and scooting around them as Big Dreams on the outside as they go into that first corner. At the head of the others then is Barnya Boy, followed closely by Sensory Rain. Further back Procyon with Palatin. Midfield on the fence. Let's Hurry travelling a bit deep, and then Shushtar followed by Cross Swords and Silk Ali at the tail as they race down the side. 600 out, Dan Gambin the leader. Instrumental in second spot. Niggled a bit. Big Dreams travelling wide, followed by Barnya Boy, and then Sensory Rain as they come to the turn from Procyon. Palatin is in on the fence with nowhere to go, turning for home, and then Shushtar and Let's Hurry, followed by Silk Ali as they straighten up. Dan Gambin the leader from Instrumental. Big Dreams on the outside. Larry Olsen trying to find a gap on Palatin. There's a split coming between horses. Barnya Boy went with him. Palatin has burst through. Palatin grabbed the lead at the 150 mark from Instrumental. Big Dreams, and wider out is Sensory Rain. Palatin's in front, close to home, and home he goes, Palatin, to win the Shannon. Getting up for second, Sensory Rain. Third's tied, Big Dreams or Instrumental. Then Cross Swords and Silk Ali, Procyon, Barnya Boy. Further back, Dan Gambin, followed by Let's Hurry, and Shushtar pulled up with the tail enders.
Shannon quality, 6, 2 and 1. Palatin, Sensory Rain, Big Dreams, $4.40 and $2 even. The winner, $2.30 Sensory Rain and $1.80 Big Dreams. Now, how are things going in the AFL? Well, Geelong look as if they're going to have another week of play. They're set to win over Footscray. It's 15 goals 15 to Footscray, 8 goals 9. The Cats looking good to play the West Coast Eagles. Finally, the newest dog catcher on the show in the States. This dog catcher specialises with frisbees, not just one or two, but 3 frisbees on the run. A dog catcher par excellence. And just to hand Max the Sydney Rugby Union Grand Final result, Galloping Greens have done it again. Randwick 28 has beaten Gordon 14.
Yes, they've